It's the one you've been waiting for. Oh, what happened on my universe mode? PPV Special! It's Money in the Bank. And we're in Buffalo, New York, opening with a WWE Championship match between Brock Lesnar and Sheamus. The match began like most Brock Lesnar matches do, with Brock Lesnar being an absolute beast, punching the hell out of Sheamus, reversing anything he does, and then just generally slowing him down. Sheamus got one move in, but then Brock just went back to town on him and slammed him around a bit more. Eventually Sheamus would get the advantage back and have a sustained amount of time in charge. He would keep the pressure on until they went to the outside, when Brock Lesnar managed to reverse again and give Sheamus an outside beating involving stairs and a belly-to-belly suplex. Back in the ring though, Sheamus was back in charge and working on Brock's shoulders. Much like before, Sheamus couldn't keep it going, and Brock would be back in charge with this beastly STO, a superplex, and then he banged on those triple German suplexes. After crushing him into the corner a few times, Brock Lesnar was looking to finish it. Sheamus had other ideas though and whacked him with a double axe handle and a reverse suplex. Then he started bringing out the signature moves. That one would only get it one, so he had to put on the Celtic Cross, which got a 2 count, a very close one at that. Brock decided that was it. German suplex, triple power bomb, 2, 3, and then an F5 to retain the title in a fantastic match. With the WWE title decided, it was time for the Divas title to take the spotlight, and AJ Lee and Brie Bella faced off for the 14,000th and final time, for a while at least, to end their big feud. And it has been a big feud. The match opened pretty open, with both people hitting big moves. With the girls taking on each other so often recently, one thing was for sure, they'd got each other sussed. There were so many counters in this match, and you just couldn't tell when someone was actually going to hit a move at times. As we reached the middle of the match, AJ Lee began to take control, hitting move after move. Brie Bella would put a little backbreaker there, but it was nothing, as the Acai DDT and a normal DDT put Brie Bella down. A crossbody, followed by AJ Lee's twisty face crushing thing. Almost won it, you'd have thought. Brie thought she was back into it with that drop kick, but AJ Lee then snapped on the Black Widow. Unfortunately for her, Brie didn't tap and rolled to the outside. Once back in the ring, Brie hit the Bella Buster and won, shockingly. Clean. No one saw that coming. And so Brie retains the title. Next up, it's the World title, and the Big Show challenging Alberto Del Rio. Despite the Big Show's big hit in opening, Alberto Del Rio was not going to be the pushover tonight, as he managed to get a few moves in before Big Show's next attack. At times the match began to look like a brawl, as both men were just striking each other. Headbutts, punches, chops, throwing it into the corner and just hitting a forearm. Alberto then raised the technical tone by slapping on a submission. Unfortunately, Big Show didn't appreciate this and butt bumped him into the corner. More throwing him into the corner action happened later, and then Big Show started doing the slamming. Then Alberto Del Rio took Big Show down and hit his corner enziguri. But again, Big Show would come back with a super kick. It was very back and forth. As Del Rio ended Big Show's comeback attempt, you thought the match was quietly swinging in his favour, and he locked on the cross arm breaker. Big Show did not tap, however, and then hit one of his signature moves, which surprisingly got the win. And Big Show was the brand new World Champion. Continuing with SmackDown, it was Dolph Ziggler challenging Cesaro for the Intercontinental title, and probably their last match for a while. Because this was the end of their feud, Dolph Ziggler took advantage and got some very strong offense in at the start. Cesaro quelled this though, with a stunner to the outside. He'd hit a few big moves on the outside before Ziggler did a crazy dive spot. Back in the ring, and Cesaro was back in charge. And when Dolph Ziggler tried to reverse something, Cesaro gave him a Michinoku driver. The match headed to the outside once again, and this time it was Ziggler that was taking control. He hit his signature DDT, and then threw him into the steps before getting back in the ring and hitting the zigzag for only a 2 count. Cesaro was having none of it, and despite Ziggler hitting that and making him bleed, he would hit a Samoan drop and this gut-wrench suplex. Following that, he hit the neutralizer, but Dolph Ziggler had the whereabouts to grab the ropes. After that, the signature DDT again and the zigzag again, and this time Cesaro wasn't so lucky. It was the 3 count, and Dolph Ziggler had won back his Intercontinental title. There was tables action next as Roman Reigns and Randy Orton continued their feud. But it was more of a brawl to begin with. Not that there being a brawl is a bad thing. Both men were striking the shit out of each other. Roman eventually getting the main advantage with that STO, slamming into the mat and then headbutting him. After this, both men went to get the tables. Randy Orton had the advantage with the tables first, and then this happened. Back in the ring, Randy Orton almost put Roman Reigns through a table with that Russian leg sweep. And following that, he almost put Roman Reigns through the table, throwing him outside the ring. Back to the outside, and Roman Reigns hit a 2-hit combo before bringing him back to the ring and hitting a Superman punch. They began trading big moves before Randy Orton cracked out the chair, and then Roman Reigns cracked out his outside dropkick before Randy Orton threw him into a chair and then hit an RKO. Reigns almost won with a spear through the table, but Randy Orton moved out of the way. When they went out to the ring, Randy Orton was put back inside by Roman Reigns, and as Roman Reigns was setting up a table, Randy Orton slithered in and RKO'd him. His feet smashed the table somehow, and Randy Orton was victorious. Now, the never-ending tag feud is about to end in a tag team title match between Harper and Rowan and Cody Rhodes and Goldust. So could we end this interminable non-cutscene involved feud with an entertaining match? Yeah, kind of actually. With both teams getting big moves in all the way through. The openness ended as the Wyatts hit a double team move. Eric Rowan then took advantage, culminating with this awesome chokeslam. He raked his eyes, but then, as he was going for another tag, Cody Rhodes reversed and hit a second rope bulldog. Goldust tagged in and hit his lying on the floor chokey bit before DDTing him down. Cody hit that kick but then was reversed as the Wyatts got to hit another double team move. Luke Harper tried to take out Goldust, but Goldust pulled the rope down and threw him to the outside. As he put him back in the ring, Cody Rhodes hit a bulldog before Luke Harper managed to get the hot tag, and you know it was hot because it got the cutscene. Eric Rowan hit a splash and then his finisher for the pin, but Goldust saved him. Then Goldust was put down, a big boot was hit, and Harper and Rowan retained the tag team titles. Now are you ready for some absolute chaos? Because it's Money in the Bank time. Kofi Kingston, Bray Wyatt, Rusev from NXT, John Cena hiding himself, Kane and Seth Rollins battle it out in this maniacal crazy match. There were moves flying around everywhere, but the first man to go for it was Kofi Kingston. He found himself on the floor after that because it was way too early to go for it. Bray Wyatt took everyone out with ladders. Bray Wyatt and Kane threw out John Cena and Rusev. Wyatt stayed in the ring low, ending up getting drop-kicked by Kofi Kingston. Rollins and Kingston then stomped him down. Kingston was thrown out the ring before Rollins hit the fisherman suplex on Bray Wyatt. Wyatt tried to get back into it, but a neckbreaker happened as moves were going on everywhere. Bray Wyatt did get the advantage back though, with that pump handle slam, as John Cena was thrown into the corner by Kingston. Wyatt then slammed Rollins with the ladder, and John Cena hit Kofi Kingston with a suplex. As Wyatt and Rollins went to the outside, John Cena took out Kofi Kingston and went for the briefcase. This gained Rusev and Kane's attention, who then went for the ladder, and John Cena found himself on the floor. He went for it again, but this time Seth Rollins ended his chance. Crazy moves happened everywhere, and Kofi Kingston went for it again. Rusev took him down, before Kane hit a back body drop on Bray Wyatt. Rusev would be the only man to bleed after Kane hit a DDT on him. Kofi went crazy with a ladder, and then Kane went for the briefcase before Bray took him out. Moves went on anywhere, and if you can keep up with all this, you're a better man than me. Carrying on, Kofi Kingston whacked everyone with ladders before finding himself down. Rusev threw out Kane, and Kingston was suplexed onto the ladder by Seth Rollins. And now we reach the end. John Cena and Seth Rollins battled it out on the ladder as everyone else fought. Eventually Rollins would climb to the top and grab the briefcase and win the Money in the Bank match. I hope you've enjoyed that. Find out what happens next time on What Happens on My Universe Mode. Like and subscribe please.